What's going on, everybody? Resale Rabbit here. I am in a very nice neighborhood at a very nice house, and we are going to do another estate sale. This might be the smallest one we've ever done. Also, this is the first video after the warehouse sale, probably. I don't know how the warehouse sale did yet because it hasn't started, but we're going to pretend that this is me from when you're watching it, and wow, that was a great sale. Can you believe we did $240,000 in sales? Several records. I can't either. I see Mitch coming around the corner. So the reason we're doing a small one like this, it's very nice furniture and there's a Mercedes, but there's not a lot else here. This is the bank where we're handling all of their trust accounts, so we definitely want to make them happy and take all of them. So we are in the garage here. A lot of the stuff was boxed up and put in here, so we're gonna have to go through all these boxes. I think it's mostly stuff from the kitchen, but I'm already seeing some other odds and ends. Here is the car we're selling. I brought the keys so we can get pictures of it running and everything. We got a little bit of furniture there. Let's head inside. So in here, we've got a laundry room. I believe all appliances are staying with the house, the main appliances. Cabinets still have some stuff in them. Not many. It's a really big laundry room. Here we've got a closet that is basically empty. And we'll start over here. We got a bathroom, there's not much in there. This, I believe, is the master. So we've got a bedroom set here, some really nice furniture. We'll sell each of these separate. We might move the lamps and put them together. The bathroom is huge, but I believe it's empty. We'll go through drawers and stuff. That looks empty. It's a very nice house. And then we've got a closet here, also looks empty. So that's this wing of the house. Kitchen should have been emptied out. Again, all the appliances stay. But we've got a really nice dinette set. We've got a like curio cabinet. Is this attached? This is a giant area rug. Holy cow. Curtains will stay, but we got a TV, a stand, another stand over here, a little table. Some more tables here in the foyer. There's one closet that had a whole bunch of stuff in it. Why was I thinking it was over here? Maybe it is over here. Is it this? Yes, this closet has a bunch of stuff. We've got some AV equipment, some china, and who knows what else in here. Little statue there. Over here, more furniture, a mirror. This room has some stuff, so we'll have to go through it. It doesn't look like anything super special. This is attached to the wall, but we are selling it. Really nice curio cabinet here. Some pictures, an antique desk. Probably find some neat stuff in there. We've got another bathroom. Closet is empty, and these are all built in, so these aren't going anywhere. But we've got an office chair. We've got, I'm pretty sure they said this is a sofa bed. We got a printer, we got some ink. So odds and ends there. In here, looks like, I'm assuming that's probably going with them, because that looks like it's just pictures. So that is the main floor. And then we'll take a walk down to the basement. I don't think there's anything outside. This is such an interesting light. Let's see, down here there's a bunch of stuff. We've got some furniture. Oh, I thought they were gonna get rid of that. We'll try and sell it. It's one less thing for them to have to get rid of, but so a little bit of stuff down here. Bubble prints, and this is at least the box for, yeah, I think that's just the box. You never know if there's gonna be more stuff in there. We got another bathroom there. This room, Oh, there's another bedroom back here. This might be Ethan Allen. And we've done well with Ethan Allen or Ethan Allen style furniture. That's empty. And then lastly, we're going in here. If I can find the light switch. There we go. In here, we got a couple of walkers and a vacuum. We got some drywall. I believe these go with the Ethan Allen furniture. A couple of benches here, and then some odds and ends here. So they got rid of most of the stuff. They emptied this place out. There's not much left here. But, no, I thought that was a date. But the furniture that's here, it all seems to be really high quality, nice stuff. And you never know what we're gonna find in some of these random little boxes. So this should be a quick one. We're hoping to have it done start to finish today. This house is so big, I have no idea where Mitch went. I'm trying to push myself in a wheelchair. What's up?
Hold on, before you come back, can you just like back up into the door frame when I said go?
Okay.
All right, go.
It's hard to do this while filming because you kind of need two hands to it. Uh-oh. Tight squeeze in here. That was an arm workout, especially going up that hill, the ramp getting in. I think I probably should have gone backwards. I almost flipped on my back. People in wheelchairs, they got some serious well-built arms.
You come back here, boy. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
So I got the car out. This thing only has 65,000 miles. That's really low for that vehicle. We found this. This is pretty cool. It's a lift table. So you can just pump it with your foot and it lifts up. You have to lower it back down. Some odds and ends, nothing too spectacular or exciting, but some decent stuff here that will piece out. You got a cart here, which I might buy this cart. We could always use more of these. Not the stuff on it, just the cart. We kind of sorted everything in here. So we're just bringing in all of the smaller lots, individual items. We're about ready to get started. So garage is done. And then we got some of the inside. The laundry room where we brought a whole bunch of stuff into is done. And then 85 to 90 is this way. Really just the furniture in here, linens from the garage, and that's it. And then we did this closet. There's the AV. It's kind of cool. They've got the IR things. So this goes over the receiver for the remote, and the other end of this is in the living room. So they can point this remote at the TV and it still controls this all the way back here. But I have to run because we're doing another house, or we were supposed to, and it was bad. There was dog poop everywhere. The house was in really rough shape. There wasn't much of value. So I said, take the good stuff, bring it to our warehouse. And it's the same bank, but there's another trustee, and that other trustee is difficult. Does not want to do it, does not want to spend any money. So as a favor to our main client, I don't know if I'm gonna get out of here. I think Mitch needs to move his car. As a favor to the main client, I said I would go free of charge and grab whatever I can fit in my truck. But we're not getting a trailer or making multiple trips. Now it's the other trustee that's meeting me there. So another reason is because part of this estate, part of this trust is a car dealership, and I really want to get that one. So I fill up the truck, I'm back here, and Mitch is done with the kitchen. So we're on the home stretch, really just furniture left. So we are all done. I think it was 225 lots, something like that. We got the stuff down here. It's a shame the glass is broken. I think that would have been worth going on its own, but we just put it with those. The bubble glass should do well. There are only a couple of lots in there. We brought most of the stuff out here. The legs, these ones are actually not attached. And the first picture, they're not attached. It's very clear in the photos. And here, We got this furniture. Apparently, Mitch said he found this dresser online for $1,800. We're not gonna get that, but I wouldn't be shocked if we get like 150, 200 bucks for it. This is pretty cool. They are not Ethan Allen's. They are Dixie. I think it was this one. Nope. Dixie is the brand. So that is downstairs. Up here, we've got just stuff. There wasn't really anything super exciting to point out. The furniture is really nice. Some of this stuff might do all right. I don't think this is gonna be a super high dollar auction. This is a really, I wouldn't be shocked if this is like a handmade table. They may have paid up a lot for this, because if you look at the bottom, it's got these straps and you can see the edges of the board. So I think this was, I don't think this is a furniture company. I think this was, somebody made this. Maybe someone they knew, maybe they bought it that way. For as nice as this house is, I'm surprised this is the only like outdoor seating area there is. Not really much of one. These should do really well. Then we get this set. Those are limestone tops. The foyer table. This thing I thought was super fancy. It's not. It's like 4 pounds. It's made of like a resin composite, something like that. I'm really excited to see how this rug goes. This rug is huge. These are also cool. There's nice stuff in here, like nice furniture. We did the Picasso inspired pillows next to the Picasso print. Some other odds and ends in here. This desk here, we found the keys for it. Original keys. This is such a nice curio. I want this so bad, but it's round. I don't know how you would transport this safely. And I want no part of that. And then in here, well, this is all the kind of cheap stuff that wasn't worth going on its own. We just put it in here and did it all as one lot. In here we got CDs and movies. We got a Gone with the Wind lamp, Nighthawk printer. That's a pull-out. We brought these in from the garage, and then the tempered glass chair mats. So it's kind of funny because they did a ton of work hauling stuff up to the garage, and then we did a ton of work hauling a lot of it right back in the house. Yes, it's easier for pickup to have it in the garage, but it presents so much better in the house. I think the prices will be a lot higher in the house than outside or in the garage. So many light switches in this house. Big fancy houses always have like a million light switches. But I mean, look at all the detail work in here. This is a very nice house. Like, look at this. This is 5 light switches just for the living room, not even in there. We'll shut everything off. So that was those lights. And then I honestly don't know what this one does. We've got, I don't know what that one does either. That's for those. And then we've got that. I don't know if I have that many light switches in my whole house. They have it just in their living room. I also took this out of the car because I don't want someone trying to use that. So, time to get out of here. And we will be back here in a couple of weeks after the sale is over for auction pickup day. So it is auction day. The auction's actually just about over, but we're at the car now. The car is at $13,105. The client said they did an appraisal on it and it came in at about $9,000. So they're getting well over what they were hoping for on that. Someone from Alaska has been winning this car pretty much the entire week until just now. They kept raising their max bids, so they weren't getting outbid. Anytime the bidding came within a couple $1,000s, they'd raise it. And I talked to them on the phone, so I'm confident they were a legitimate buyer. They actually bid on other stuff, so they'll probably be coming anyways. They, I guess, have a place in a couple hours away from here. So I'm guessing they're already within the region. But they, well, until this bid that just came through, were outbid. Alaska is winning it again. It also helps that I know how to take pictures of cars. I used to do this for a living, take pictures of cars, back in another life. Like, this looks like something from the factory other than that in there. So a lot of really good pictures, and it really shows every bit of the vehicle. And we are sold $14,675, which is nearly double the previous most expensive item we've ever sold. Can't close the auction and charge cards until the next auction is finished uploading and it's almost done. So let's talk for a minute. This particular client is a bank. It's a financial institution because the contents of this home and the home itself are in a trust. The person passed away, everything was put in a trust. I don't know many other details beyond that. However, here's something I was told right off the bat. The deceased's daughter, who is not a trustee, but she is involved, she was very nervous with a starting bid of $2 on a vehicle. She is going to be thrilled when she sees how much over Blue Book. I haven't run Blue Book. The client, what's the way to put this? The trust, the financial, does what they call a post-death appraisal or post-death audit. And it's basically right after the person passes away, here's what everything is worth. And they're really only looking at expensive things like real estate, vehicles, things like that. And so they actually appraised the vehicle and it came back at $9,000. This is what I was told. So the fact that it sold for over 14 grand, and our commission on that is 6%. We also have the buyer's fee, which is another 15%, but that's off the top, meaning the buyer pays 14,600 or something like that, plus 15%. So we retain the 15%. We also retain 6% from the seller. So in the case of this vehicle, we made $3 grand just selling the car, which was awesome. We need to sell more expensive things. But so the seller is getting that 14,000 something minus 6%, which is probably like 13,000 something. So $4,000 above their appraisal. They are going to be thrilled. But it also excites me because we have another auction coming up, and this one I'm definitely doing a video on in the next, I think in 2 weeks we go there to start taking pictures. So you're obviously not gonna see the video for a while because it goes through the auction process and then the video goes up after it's all said and done. But anyways, it's an adult photography studio with a home. And anyways, in this home, there is a vehicle. It's a 2023 model Jeep. And the person passed away in 2024. So it's basically a brand new car. The thing probably has no miles on it. And that is gonna make the financial a lot more comfortable having us sell this vehicle because this Mercedes went for so much more. And we usually, for some reason, get well over Blue Book on vehicles, but we've never sold expensive vehicles. And to be honest, I was a little nervous about it. I guess we haven't been paid yet, so the deal isn't done, but the Alaska person bought it. So I'm fairly comfortable. They have bought from us in the past, of course, nothing to this scale. But, you know, I'm considering it pretty much a done deal. So I'm a lot less nervous now. My arm was getting tired. Anyways, you guys like when I ramble, right? Even when I ramble about rambling. So anyways, we've never sold a vehicle this expensive, so I was a little nervous, but this also makes me a lot more comfortable with this Jeep. This next estate, it has the Jeep that I mentioned. There is, I don't remember, I want to say like a 2012, 2013 pickup truck with a snow plow on it, which we are right in the sweet spot for that. We're gonna start seeing snow soon, and so people are gonna start looking for that. And then there's also a very new skid steer that I don't think has a lot of hours. I would guess they probably bought it new and used it just to shovel the driveway. Now it's been several months since I've been to this estate, so I'm hoping they're still there. We were told that we would be selling them, but there was some logistical things on the bank's end that needed to be taken care of and some things that we required of them. we'll get to that when we do that video. I'm going to assume the train auction, which is next, is uploaded. By the way, trains are doing really well too. I think this is going to be our 4th or 5th auction with them. But anyways, let's close this one out, get some final numbers, and then I'm going to go home and crash because we've got a long day for auction pickup tomorrow. So we finished at $20,371, which it's a sleeper. It is our 3rd highest grossing auction we've ever done, and I was not expecting that. I don't remember what I said in the beginning of the video, but I would assume I was guessing like $4,000 on the house, and then like $9,000 on the car. So we got quite a bit more than that for them. We had 17 unsold items. I'm not counting this. It's just the kind of directional lot. 17 unsold items, nothing too special. Some of this, I'm not surprised, didn't sell. This I'm a little, especially for how well the furniture did, I'm surprised this headboard didn't sell. And that's the end of the unsolds. So here we are, sorted highest to lowest. Of course, the car was first. 605 for the table. Furniture did really well here. This went way over. These usually sell for about 90 bucks, and that is like in an antique store, top dollar. The fact that this went for 150, that went way higher than it should have gone. Continue on down with the furniture here. Let's see, this Fenton basket, I guess, went for well over what it's worth, as well as this Fenton piece. Those should have probably been about 25 to 50 each. This thing, the seller even told us they spent like 75 bucks on it, and it got bid up to 85. The glass chair mats went for over retail. The rug I would have liked to see go higher because it's such a large rug, but most people don't need one that big, so that makes it tough. China went for way more than it was worth. The hard drive here with all the movies on it, I couldn't believe how high that thing went. Continuing down here, more odds and ends. These little drums went really high. I know the seller said they were really happy about that. And then we'll just keep scrolling here. I didn't end up buying this. I thought about it, but I decided not to. Unrelated, I'm in... Wow, the acoustics are terrible in here. That's a little better. I'm in the bathroom at the warehouse. I've been in this warehouse for 10 years now. 10 years! I have pooped in this room thousands of times. And I'm only now realizing they never actually took the film off of this mirror, the protective coat of film. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that. Also, these used to go all the way across, but over the last 10 years, every so often one goes missing. Felt like I needed to show somebody that. So the client is going to get $17,952. This is a different consignor number. It's my own. That's what that first lot that just had the directional was. And obviously there were no bids on it. It's just so if there are bids on it, I don't accidentally, issue a check with those bids before, canceling them. Anyways, after the 15% buyer's fee, we are receiving $23,427.22. Plus tax minus 17952.01. Our profit on it, of course, before any expenses, advertising, paying employees, stuff like that, is $5,475.21. And I would say this is probably the best auction we've ever done because it's not the most profitable. We've done auctions that were more profitable than that. But if you think about the time, we got this entire auction done start to finish in one day. So it is 4 days of man hours there because it was the 2 of us that day setting up, taking photos. So that's 2 days worth. 1 day, 2 people. And then pickups, the pickups tomorrow. That's also going to be a day, 2 people. So that's awesome. They don't happen like that very often. All right, we are back at the home for auction pickup day. Gotta go around and turn on 100 light switches. So this little pile here is all of the unsolds. We would easily be able to give this away, but the seller requested we leave it here. It's so rare that we are able to completely empty out a house, and this was our shot. But we got just about everything gone. We got quite a few cars waiting. We must have trained them well because nobody's walking up here. It is hot out. It said it was supposed to be 59. Wasn't expecting 59 to feel this hot, but I just learned that sun visors on cars are really expensive. See, I opened this to rotate and it just snapped. It won't, well, I guess now it's staying out. But yeah, it's $120 for a used one of these on eBay. So I haven't been able to film much today because the daughter and son-in-law of the person who had passed on have been here all day. I'll wait to tell you the story when we get back to the warehouse. So I have a $17,000 check in my hand for the car. And Wells Fargo, being Wells Fargo, would not, after like half an hour, making a bunch of phone calls to try and verify this thing is authentic, Wells Fargo said that their automated thing, we cannot verify this over the phone. You need to go into a branch. So with the customer waiting, I'm driving to a Wells Fargo to verify this check. This is very frustrating. So I call the bank. They said, or one location of Wells Fargo, I said I need to verify a cashier's check. And they said, oh, I'll transfer you. And so they transferred me to the automated number, and it's just long drawn out because instead of saying press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish, they just read every single option in both English and Spanish. And I finally get to, I go through all the menus, and there's one that's like verification or account verification. So that sounded right. So I did that, and it would not let me go past without putting in an account number. And I tried saying I don't have an account number. I tried saying speak to an operator. I tried just mashing my keypad and pressing 0 and pound a bunch of times. No luck. So I hung up, called the branch back, and they transferred me right away. So then I just went straight to speak to an operator with the automated system. Same thing, would not let me talk to anybody unless I gave them an account number. Very frustrating. So I called the branch again and explained to them that I cannot get through. I don't have an account with Wells Fargo. They're not letting me through. And so she said, unfortunately, she put me on hold and came back and she said, sorry, we can't verify these. You have to call the 800 number. She said, normally if you mash 0 and pound a bunch of times, that'll get you through. And she was nice. She said, I'm not going to make you do that. Let me put you on hold. I'll do it for you. And then once I get you to the right spot, I'll transfer you. She did that, transferred me, got to a call center somewhere, and I said I need to verify a check. Okay, let me transfer you. Okay. And at this point, it was all automated, and I asked for all the details on the check, and I had to enter the account number, the check number, the dollar amount, the date, a whole bunch of stuff. And I finally get through all of that, and it says, we're sorry, this check cannot be verified by phone. You need to bring it into a branch. Are you serious? So I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna bring it into the branch and they'll say, oh, you have to call. God, I hate Wells Fargo so much. So I brought it in. They did not enter anything in the system. They just looked at it and said, yeah, that looks good. So hopefully it's good. She did show it to another employee, and the other employee looked at it and said, yeah, that's Katrina's signature, so it's probably fine. But this isn't the bank it was even issued from, so I don't know how they know who Katrina is, but she's the teller that signed the check. You don't get this quality level of service from credit unions. I don't know why anyone would ever want to be with a bank. It would feel a lot better if somebody typed some numbers into a computer to actually verify, because how hard would it be for somebody to get a cashier's check for 20 bucks and then just change the number? I feel like that wouldn't be that difficult. I don't know why it's like this, but all right, let's get back to this house so we can get this woman her car. And the Mercedes is on its way out. All right, so we are all done here. This is emptied out. Coming on in here, closets were emptied out from the start. We didn't do anything in there. So a lot of the furniture that you're gonna see here was purchased by the kids. So that's why that's all left here. This purchase buyer never picked it up, so we're leaving it. Kitchen, oh, I need my donut, forgot about that. Kitchen is all emptied out. Again, more furniture that they bought. The house should be completely empty, but it's obviously not. We'll get to that in a minute. TV is gone. The mount wasn't supposed to go with it, but we couldn't get it off. In here, this bedroom, emptied out. I really wanted that. I just wanted no part in moving it. And the headboard is still here. Office, fairly empty. Again, stuff that they bought. And then we'll head down to the basement. I still really like this light. Basement, completely emptied out. Over here, ready for carpet cleaners. That they bought. And then we got a bedroom in here, fully emptied out. And I forgot my Wi-Fi hotspot. Thankfully, I'm just around the corner, and one of the kids of the deceased that was hanging out there all day just called me and said, "Hey, is this yours?" So it's the next day. I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I was tired, so I just went straight home. But I walk into the warehouse this morning to a screaming match with the kids. When I say kids, I mean like the daughter and son-in-law of the deceased. They're like in their 40s or 50s. I don't know how else to describe them. They're not our client. The bank is our client. Anyways, screaming match. This is gonna be a huge pain. I can already tell. They bought one of the many issues. They bought two walkers and a wheelchair. Said they were planning on donating them. We shouldn't have sold them, so they want to be reimbursed for them. And when we first went there, this was told that this might be a possibility. But when we were there actually taking pictures, I called the bank and said, "Is there anything in this house not being sold?" They said the appliances, and then there was like a carousel projector with slides. Those aren't being sold. They later emailed us after the auction had gone online and pointed out two other things that shouldn't have been listed: the bricks and the shingles in the garage. We pulled those. Never mentioned the wheelchair and walkers. That's just one of the issues that these people have. The other thing they complained about today, and this one they have a right to complain about. I had a donut and I accidentally left it there. Kitchen, oh, I need my donut. And I felt bad about it. I realized it once I got to the warehouse or on my way here. It was half eaten, but it was still in the donut box. The box was closed. I left it on the kitchen counter. And normally we make an effort not to leave any trash behind. You've seen it on the other videos. If I see trash that we have, I'll take it with us. And I felt bad about that, but she was really upset about that. That one was our fault, but I feel like that's a non-issue. But anyways, the issue yesterday, they bought almost all of the furniture. And their belief was that it sold too cheap and they can get more for it. And they're not the client, so, however that works, I don't know, when we pay the bank, I think they're getting the money in this particular case, but whatever. They bought it with the intent to sell it for more, but they sold several items to other auction buyers at a significant loss. Because I was kind of paying attention when they were selling. They sold a couch. They spent, I think, $120 on this couch. They sold it for $50. But apparently they were expecting to get more. I don't know. I think they were trying to raise the bid. Shill bidding is a felony. It is illegal. So if we wanted to pursue something there, it would be hard to prove that they were bidding it up to try and get more money. But, that's also wrong. But they just kind of hung out the whole time and they critiqued every little thing. They're the type of people that you just can't please. At the very end, the guy who bought the TV, we were supposed to leave the mount on the wall, just sell the TV, and we could not get figure out how to get the TV off the mount. And the son-in-law was actually helping. And I kept saying, I think if you take these 2 screws out, that plate will come off and it would slide off. And he kept ignoring me, trying to figure out other things. We eventually just took the whole mount off the wall, and he said, oh, I think if you take these 2 screws out, that's what I was saying. Very frustrating, people. It's very frustrating walking into a shouting match. So basically, we told them, you're not the client. We can't do anything for you. Go through the intermediary, the bank. And I'm waiting on a call back from the bank, the contact at the bank, to hopefully get all of this resolved. But it has been stressful. They've already threatened to leave. Well, she threatened to leave a negative review, and he said, oh, it's going to be much more than a review. I already knew there were going to be problems when I saw they were bidding on a bunch of stuff and bid it so high, and I thought about reaching out to the bank and talking to them, what happens if this, what happens if that. But I figured I'll just wait until something happens rather than, entertaining with the client a whole bunch of possibilities that may or may not happen. Because this is an ongoing client, this bank, so we want to keep them happy, but we also, need to stand by our terms and conditions. Oh, there was one other thing they got upset about. So after the auction ended, normally items that are unsold, we give them away to people just to get rid of them. We always ask in advance if they want us to do that. And in the beginning, we were told they don't want us to give away the unsold items. That's fine. So we stacked them all up in a pile so it's easier for them. I guess she knows somebody who works for a local thrift store who's going to come pick them up. Great. We stacked them all in a pile, make it easier for them. At the end of the day, the items that sold but weren't picked up, or the items that sold but weren't paid for because the person's card was declined. Normally, we will take a lot of that back so we can get it to the buyer, and if they haven't paid, continue to try and get payment. And we did that here, and they threw a big fit about that we were supposed to leave it behind because it's considered abandoned. If it's not, he was out there at 5:30 on the dot. Everything that's left is ours now. And I basically said no, and some of it we left behind just to avoid an argument. And I added it to the pile of unsolds for them since they're donating it. And the other items, the items that hadn't been paid for, or if a regular buyer, someone who's here every week, bought something and it was small, we brought it back for them. And that was a huge deal for them. My phone just went off, but it is not the bank. So it's the next day. I think we're fully resolved. The bank sent a very long email listing everything that their client, the daughter and son-in-law, had for issues. One of them, they said that the daughter, piled all the unsold stuff out, which isn't true. We piled it up before they even got there. And that she claimed that we were taking stuff from it, which we didn't. I added stuff to it. I was being nice, and the stuff that we were leaving behind that wasn't picked up, I put in that pile so it was easier for them. Anyways, I think it's all resolved now. You know what really frustrates me the most is my mission, not just in this business, in life, but in this business, do the right thing, do right by the customers, because I believe you do right by your customers, you do right by your employees, you will succeed. And I always go the extra mile. In fact, we're working on another auction here, and like from here down a little ways is the stuff that I picked up from that house, which again, I didn't need to pick it up. I did it as a courtesy for them. But there are these bird houses, and a lot of these little signs were missing off of them. They were just, when they were boxed up, they were just kind of thrown into the box. And I took the time to glue them on so they were, fixed and repairing things. That's not what we do. It even says in the contract that we don't repair things, that things need to be ready to sell. But I did it, and I didn't reach out to them and say, hey, I'm fixing this. I just do it. I try to really do right by the customers. When we're at a house, our job isn't to clean up. Our job is just to sell the stuff off. But it's common for me to get a broom and clean up, sweep up the floor. I really put in a lot of effort to do right by the customers. So when someone comes and accuses us of being horrible people and has this laundry list of crazy things that they claim we did, it just really frustrates me. What also frustrates me is, a lot of that stuff went for way more than what it's worth. The car went for $5,000 over Blue Book. Some of the things like the Fenton pieces and the Gone with the Wind lamp went well over what it's worth. Mitch even said he used to work in an antique store, and he said they sold those for $89.99 when they got them. might have been 189. I'm pretty sure it was 89. But items went for well over what they were worth, but they don't focus on that. They only focus on the little negative things like me accidentally leaving the donut box, which I felt really bad about before they even brought it up. Because, again, you've seen the videos. I will go through and look through the house and make sure we didn't leave any trash behind or anything. I really try to go the extra mile for our clients. And when it really, like, it affected me yesterday. My mood was not good all day because of this, because they're yelling at us for things that we didn't do. They're nitpicking things that are incorrect. And I don't know, I really try to make an effort to do the right thing. So when they claim that we didn't, and in 10 years of business, we've never had an issue like this before. We've had customers here and there that would get upset about little things, but it was never escalated like this. I don't know. But anyways, that is all I've got for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. We've got next Tuesday, which is probably going to be before this video is up. We're going to start on that photography place. So that'll be a video coming up in a couple of weeks for you. That one I'm really excited about.